Welcome to the Microfinance Podcast. Listen to inspiring interviews and take a look at the tools and products that are used in the field. The Microfinance Podcast is produced by MicroSave, market-led solutions for financial services, and is brought to you by Moving Planet Films.
The Wizzit model of mobile banking utilizes the bank-led model and addresses really the three challenges that the unbanked face: accessibility, affordability, and availability. And really it's a methodology that brings the bank to the unbanked rather than getting the unbanked to the bank. And it uses the power of the mobile both in opening accounts and in providing a channel for transactions, for the purchases of prepaid, for the payment of accounts, for sending money home, a fully functional bank account. The intention with Wizzit is to grow from a transactional base to providing other banking services, including savings and loans, including funeral policies, and we hope that we will grow along with our customers' needs. Our customer base, and we've grown slowly in a very controlled way, is more than a couple of 100,000. We went through a stage where we were opening vast numbers of accounts during the course of a month, only to find that many of them were never used. So we rethought some of those strategies and focus now on more quality accounts where we can work very meaningfully with the segment of the market in teaching them about financial services, making their lives easier and giving them a safe store for their money. It's a new brand. We did not have a big brother, a household name brand to support us in our efforts. So one of the biggest challenges and thereby obstacles that we had was creating credibility and trust in a brand new brand. Creating trust and credibility in new technology. We were leapfrogging, being the first in the market. We were leapfrogging people who'd never had a bank account and giving them capability that even banked customers could not do at that time. All of the big four major banks in South Africa followed what we did some 6 months or a year later. But it was quite interesting, that challenge in getting people to feel comfortable using the technology. Clearly, opening the account needed to be easy, it needed to be seamless, it needed to happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that didn't interfere with people's working lives. And I think our WizKid model has proven to be very effective in that we've invested in people. We only employ unemployed people, we train them, we certify them, and the market at that level feels more comfortable opening a bank account with somebody they know, somebody who's from their community, somebody that they trust, so that if they've got a problem, they know where to call on it. It's a virtual bank. We have a call center that is open, speaks all of the 11 official languages, and speaks at a level that the market feels comfortable with and understands. So those were probably some of the major channels that we had. We haven't found technology to be a barrier. But it's about changing behavior. And changing behavior, as we all know, does not happen instantaneously. It's not like switching on a light switch. It's continuous reinforcement, it's continuous presence, and it's continuous empathy with the market and treating that market with dignity and with respect. The role of the regulator and bank supervisor is quite interesting, and I think clearly we are dealing with people's money, despite the fact that they may not have a lot of it. And the fact that it is a regulated industry does bring that level of market a degree of comfort. So I think regulation does form a critical part of banking and providing banking services, including payments. However, when it comes to some of the issues around KYC and AML, there is a huge cost that is associated with it. And I think we welcome our regulator in South Africa, who's taken a very pragmatic and risk-based approach to say that provided there are certain limits on the account, and those limits are strictly controlled and strictly monitored, then we can relax some of the criteria around the KYC issues, such as proof of residential address. If the limits are exceeded, we then need to go the extra mile and get that additional information. I believe, and I'm probably not alone in this, but maybe not everybody agrees with me, that probably one of the biggest barriers to banking the unbanked is around some of the regulatory issues. It adds a huge cost to the business, and it's not saying, as I said at the beginning, that you have to do away with regulation. I think regulation is important, it brings the industry credibility. But I think it needs a better understanding of the plight of the unbanked, that because a person doesn't comply 100% with all of the regulation, to simply freeze their account so that they can't access their money is not a solution, because all that does is destroy any confidence that the person may have in building up confidence in a bank. So I think that could be of great assistance, and it's a worldwide phenomenon and a worldwide issue that I think regulators need to look at. I think regulators would all agree that the intention behind some of the AML legislation, KYC legislation, was never to make it more difficult and more onerous for the unbanked to become banked. But it has become a very unfortunate consequence of legislation that has been imposed. So I think that's one of the issues. The second issue is really around a philosophy, as I said at the beginning, of getting the banked to the unbanked, not the unbanked to the banked. And to rely on your traditional big bank thinking to bank the unbanked is probably not going to reality. So the space needs to be opened up perhaps to innovative entrepreneurs who are prepared to try different things, but always under the understanding that you are dealing with people's money. And it needs to be within an environment that people have trust and have credibility, because unfortunately money does attract unscrupulous operators who will take advantage, particularly of the poor, and I don't think that can be allowed to happen. So one needs to tread warily, and it's a difficult line, but I think one that can be managed. I think many of us have long forgotten how difficult life is without access to a basic bank account. I think many of us have forgotten just how expensive it is, not only from a money point of view, but from a time point of view, where you don't have access to financial services. So Wizzit bridges that gap and provides people with functionality that enables them to do simple things that would normally cost them a lot of money and a lot of time. So we focus very much on their needs, and having satisfied one or two particular needs that they've got, they will grow into other financial services. The take-up has been good, and I think once people get used to it, as with anything else, and they build trust and credibility. Trust in the system comes with usage, so the more they use it, the more they believe in it. The more they believe in it, the more they use it. And at the end of the day, that's what gets us very excited about this particular business. And at the end of the day, it really fulfills our dream, which is to make economic citizens of millions of people who have been previously excluded. I've always believed that mobile banking will probably be the next major wave in the payment space. And research that has been done by CGAP and others have proven that the one driving factor behind mobile banking and mobile payments is around convenience. It's with you all of the time, hence Wizzit's payoff line, my bank in my pocket, because it is always with you. So I really do believe that the future for mobile banking is huge. I think it's important that we start seeing some success stories. And a lot of people ask me, what is success? Is success having 1 million customers, 10 million customers, 20 million customers? I'm not sure. I'm a simple businessman, and to me, success is really about building a commercially viable business that can be taken to any part of the world. Our vision is to bank the unbanked of the world utilizing mobile technology, and I see a great future for mobile banking.